Talk to me about, in your mind, 13 practices in the book. You're kind of hitting that grind portion of the month of August now.
Right.
Are you making the progress that you hoped to make to this point?
Oh yeah, I think, when you look at your practice schedule, you better be, because each day has to have not only the installation and the ability to teach technique, you have to be able to teach situations within the game, because it's still about the game. Today we had, a classic situation where, we had about 1:10 on the clock. We had no timeouts, and you got to go lead the team, Malik, down the field. Well, we got the ball down on the 4-yard line, and we had 14 seconds. We had a chance for 2 plays. Malik turned it into 1. And those are, you can't teach that unless you create those situations. So it's about not only the individual time where you get to work on technique, and certainly your unit work where you work on getting off blocks and your blitz packages, but you need those real life situations, which we got today. So yeah, we're making progress because we got work on that today.
And you had another situation where Max Redfield
Yeah.
makes the game-ending interception in that drill, but runs it back.
Yeah.
And that's the one time you don't want him running it back.
How about running out of bounds? Maybe it's, you fall down, and as I told Max, look, if you've got a clear path to the end zone and you're 4-3 and nobody can catch you, that's fine. I get it, but you got to make certain, because the game's over. Because the offense had no timeouts there. And so certainly you go take a knee or run out of bounds, the game's over, we take a knee. So just those things you got to be aware of at the end of the game.
Now, you've only had one major injury so far in Jerron Jones, and obviously that's a big one.
Yeah.
But it does seem that this year, this team is more suited to handle those kinds of injuries than you were last year.
Oh, no question. You lose Jerron Jones, and that creates a huge void last year. We didn't have really another guy that could go in there and play that position. I think at times we played Justin Utupo at 255 pounds. So, look, Jerron Jones is a big loss for us, but we have guys that can step in and play that position. And Daniel Cage played a lot for us last year. Now he's a sophomore. He's in better shape, conditionally, stronger. He can go in there, he can play for us. Jerry Tillery is just a freshman, but somebody that can go in there and give us great reps at the one technique as well. Jacob Matuska could probably play a little bit there for us. So we think the depth that we've established here is going to be able to make up for any loss of one player.
Now, certainly on your official outlet, Watch and D, we don't make a habit of breaking injury news, but the media is about to find out, and people will be concerned. Joe Schmidt told us today he's broken his thumb in his left hand.
Yeah.
How serious is that? How's that going to impact him?
It's not a serious injury in that it doesn't need surgery, it doesn't need to be pinned. Sometimes when you have a fracture, you have a spiral fracture, which requires you to go have surgery and put a plate in there. This is not. It's not a displaced fracture or a spiral fracture. So this is just a cast. In a couple of weeks here, we'll be good to go. We just need to protect it right now. But Joe was out there doing everything live today. So just a minor injury, and Joe will be able to handle it just fine.
You were just asked, as I knew you were expecting, about who's going to call the plays this season, but that takes me to a different level of your coaching staff camaraderie and the chemistry. You have 3 basically offensive coordinators in yourself and Sanford and Denbrock, and you go on the defensive side. And the chemistry that seems to be developing there, Brian Van Gorder, Todd Light, the new coach, his interview went an hour longer because Van Gorder and Light hit it off so well. Talk about that coach's room right now. You've always had good coach's room. Is this, though, one of the best?
It is. I mean, offensively, it's seamless in that, if Mike Denbrock is not there, Mike Sanford can pick it up. If I'm not there, vice versa. It's really a great dynamic. Harry Heastant is awesome because he runs the offensive line and what he's looking for with his group, and Scott Booker and Autry Denson just do their jobs extremely well and really fall in line to whatever is expected of them. They're there for us and do a great job. Defensively, I think, as I mentioned earlier, 25 years of doing this, I've always had one-on-one drills with the wide receivers and DBs. They do not operate as well as they do this year with Todd Light back there. Coaching every minute on every rep, and I love that because our guys are getting better every time. And Keith Gilmore and Brian played together, so now you've got a synergy and an energy with two guys that have played together. Todd Light, who's a veteran who played here, who's coaching his butt off every minute, and then Mike Elston, who's been with me, obviously now over a dozen years. Really, really good staff.
There are some real quirks to your schedule this year in terms of what
Yeah.
the other teams bring to the table and what they do. 6 of them have the previous weekend off.
I saw that.
Before they play you.
Yeah, good planning.
And well, for them,
Yeah,
there's nothing you can do about that. But also, you play 2 triple option teams.
Yep.
Navy and I would say Navy Plus. I'm not slighting Navy, but
No.
Georgia Tech is Navy with even
Yeah.
better athletes. And this hasn't gotten a lot of play, but you started installing triple option on your scout team last week in Culver.
Yeah, we did. We opened up right away with and we recruited a triple option quarterback and put together a triple option team that we really started repping them right away because we wanted to have that group in place. So when we got to Georgia Tech, that it wasn't the first time that our defense has seen it. So I actually led that scout team at Culver, that triple option team against our defense. So they've already gotten work against it. Now we're still focused on Texas, but we've been taking 10 and 15 minutes a day to work on the triple option because it's such a difficult offensive scheme for our defense to get ready for. That you got to get some work on it. So we've gotten a lot of work on it, and I think it'll help us a lot.
Right now, just about midway through camp, just give me 3 or 4 names of guys who have really impressed you and pleased you. And this doesn't mean guys who are playing to a level you expected them to play to, just guys that have really stood out to you.
Well, I think, Equanimous, St. Brown, tall, athletic wide receiver who can run down the field. I think he showed toughness with an ankle sprain coming back right away. I think he stood out to me. I think defensively, Nick Coleman. I think those 2 kids in particular have, stood out. I think it's been the freshmen. I think if you want to look at an upperclassman that his game has elevated, Jalen Smith has been spectacular. And again, everybody expects, that Jalen Smith is good. He's been better than good. I mean, he's been all over the field. He's going to be a very, very difficult player to defend in any shape or fashion. So I can't wait to see him play.
And we're looking at him right now playing down in Culver. Now, I don't want to call it any individual players, but in terms of areas right now that you're looking at these practice films and saying, you know what, we got to get better there by Texas.
Well, I think, protection, we got to continue to work on our protections. We get a lot of, pressures from our defense. We get a lot of things. We're going to continue to get better at our protections. I think we've got to be more efficient with the football in terms of throwing. I think defensively, we got to be better with a 5-man box, in terms of running the ball against a 5-man box. We gave up a couple of big runs in the scrimmage. So, there's plenty of things we got to get better at. We'll get better at them, and like I said, we've got a couple more weeks here to work on them, and those are the things that we'll attack tomorrow.
September's always a tough month at Notre Dame. This is a heck of a way to start night game with Texas.
And they're obviously a great program, great tradition, and a lot of games they played last year. They had Baylor 7-0 in the fourth quarter, and they played everybody tough last year. So Coach Strong's a great coach, great program. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It's the way you want it at Notre Dame, Texas. Good way to start.
After talking to me for 45, thanks for giving us another 5 or 10.
My pleasure anytime.